thanks for dropping by. Welcome back, and warm welcome if this is your first time to one of my videos and my channel in general, where I talk about figurines and merchandise in my own personal collection of what I like. So this time I'm going to be doing a video on the S.H.Figuarts Street Fighter V Rashid figurine. This is number 4 in the line. Preceding this was the Ryu and Chun-Li figurine, and then the Cammy one right before this one. So I've covered all 3 of those already, so if you haven't seen those, do check them out. So without further ado, here is Rashid with what he comes with. He comes with an optional effect piece, 2 optional face parts, and then 2 extra pairs of hands. You might notice I've already changed a couple of things on him anyway, but I'll get to that in a moment. But let's go through the optional parts as always. Skip ahead in the video for a couple of minutes if you want to go straight to the figurine itself. If you want to see the optional parts, then stick around and bear with me. So first up, I'm just going to go through the effect piece, which is a nice white-ish and then into a nice gradient translucent piece. This attaches to either one of his legs. I will try and show you that. It can be a bit finicky, especially on camera, to try and do it, but you know, let's try it. Let's try our best. It's nice. I quite like the way this looks. It's got a it always reminds me, things like this remind me of food. I'm getting a, you know, like a lemon ice lolly or popsicle, if you're an American person, vibe from this. So it's quite cool for this Turbulent Wind guy. So I'll show you that in a moment. Onto his faces. So like most SHF figures and the Street Fighter lineup as well, he comes with 2 extra heads. His default head, I believe, was this one, which is nice. His eyes are, you know what, I really actually have to say, the eyes on the heads, on all 3 of them, are really nice on this figurine. The eyelashes are really nicely done, and then the pupils are also really good. I think it's a nice looking face. His beard is pretty cool as well, and nicely stylized. And then this is the other one where he's looking to the side and grinning. This one, the eye, his right eye looks a little bit off, but it's not too bad. I mean, you might get a bad luck one, you might be a good luck one, depending on what you are. He's got a bit of vampire teeth going on here. But overall, like, I like the way his eyes are shaped, especially in the default one. It's very cool. I will show you the grinning one in a moment as well. Then he also comes with 2 pairs of hands. These are what he normally comes with, which is the fists. That's attached to him by default. It's pretty plain, brown flesh tone, not much more to it. Dash those out of the way. And then he comes with another set, which is this one, the open palm hand, which is nice. Again, the brown flesh tone. The hands are also, by the way, quite large, true to Street Fighter V character design proportion. So in my hand they don't look too big, but you'll see once I show you the figurine as well. So that's the open palm hand. One's already, you know, attached to him, and then this one is the like the palm and closed fingers, if you like. So this one again, similar color to the rest, and large as well. Now onto the figurine itself. So this is the man himself. This is Rashid. He is a brand new character to the Street Fighter franchise, debuting in Street Fighter V. He is arguably the most popular newcomer in Street Fighter in 5, not including the rest as DLC, but definitely he's one of the most popular ones. So he's quite, in the hand, he's fairly weighty, if you like, but he feels balanced. Part of that is because his large feet helps him stand decently on this surface, because it's a bit more slippery. You know, most figures can't stand properly on this one without a bit of effort. But he's alright. He's okay. He can actually stand on one leg. I'll try and show you that with some effort, but I've done it in the past, and rest assured, he can do it. I'll even show you a photo at the end of this video. But he's a very balanced figure, I find. You know, he might not be the most aesthetically pleasing to some people. I think he's alright. But so far, balanced figure, good weight. Now, let's get closer to his design then. So let's get into his head. So, he has his turban or headpiece that you like, that's on, along with the tech around it. That's all sculpted on as one piece. So I'll show you that. This is thin plastic. It's not cloth or anything like that. It's not any real material. It's just thin plastic. So that will hinder his head movement of looking up. I mean, he can still look further up than Cammy, I think it was. So there's that. The detail is quite good. The eyepiece also is sculpted onto the entire headpiece. Sorry about the lighting. The camera light keeps turning off, so let me try and figure it out a bit more. Please bear with me, and thank you also. So anyway, that's his head. It's pretty cool. It's nicely done. You know, it's not much more to say, really. This is his default, not his default, but this is the open mouth face as well. The eyes again also look nice on this. The visor will expand one of the eyes and enlarge them. It will magnify them. That's the correct term I want, which is quite cool as well. It actually looks even more magnified in camera than it does in person. But it's a nice detail to have for Rashid. Now moving down, you can see the belts all sculpted on as well, and then the buttons on his top, and then he's got more belts all across his arms, more belts, just plenty of belts on this guy. He's almost like a Final Fantasy character. And then moving down on his robe, this is 3 pieces that does move. You can kind of flap them out like so. There's some small amounts of airbrushing on there, not too much. It looks a bit kind of dusty, but it's the airbrushing. And then his pants hidden below, and then his boot, sandal, footwear, let's just say. And then that's the bottom of them, so you can see the grip. And then on the reverse, he does have his trusty backpack, which can come off. You can articulate this as well a little bit. You can pull it out a bit, and then pull it off completely. And I think you can probably get a stand in there if you've got one. Disappointingly, S.H.F. figures don't come with stands for the most part, and I wish they did, you know, without increasing the cost, if it's not too greedy of me asking. But that's Rashid in terms of design. In terms of movement, I did touch on that. So his head moves up like so, not too much because of the cloth piece. Moves down, and then you'll get him around. You might need to tinker with it, lift him up a bit because of the beard piece. And that's his head. His arms, they have enough movement inside. You might get annoyed with the gap that does end up being revealed if you have certain poses and you're filming, taking a photo from the side, for example. So, you know, it's your tolerance level again. And then his elbow does move. Elbow joint kind of goes up like that. I will say though, they've done something slightly different with him because of his biceps. He's got pretty big guns. So when you can't swivel too much. You can, but the actual elbow piece here, when you turn it, because it's part of the forearm piece, it will get blocked. So you'll have to end up kind of forcing it around, and then there you'll get a line like so. So be careful with that. You shouldn't really need to do that anyway when you're posing him. But in any case, if you're forgetting or just being ignorant about that, then now you know. Be careful. It happens on the same arm, on the other arm as well. It's just the way this figure is designed. He's got big guns. You know, what can you say? So that's his upper arm, or mid arm, and then his hands do move like so. You can also do the whole, you know, come at me type of thing. In terms of the upper body crunching and stuff, he can't actually do a lot with this. I mean, the upper body doesn't do a lot. The back stops him from the backpack stops him from moving far back, and then the overall crunch is, you know, fairly limited. It's there, but yeah, what can you do? By the way, this belt is not sculpted on. It is separate as a separate piece, so it does move freely. So that's good. It's cool. Whatever. It's cool. And then this is also part of that as well. They're all separated, so you won't get blocked too much with certain poses that he can do in action poses. And then moving further down, I've already covered the gown piece. His legs, they don't pull down, so you won't have that. His legs look new. I think it's part of the whole fighter body system that they're, you know, slowly implementing for certain fighters. But he can, of course, bring his legs all the way up like that. You know, the joints actually in here look pretty serious. I mean, they're pretty hench joints. Like, there's a lot going on there. I mean, it's all new stuff to me, and I couldn't even really explain it to you. I mean, just take a look. Just take a look for yourself. But yeah, so he can move his leg pretty decently up, always like so, and then his knee. He's got a fat joint on his knee as well. I mean, I think it looks okay. It's better than Cammy, in my opinion, which has that gaping hole, and it just looks vicious like a wound. And anyway, you know, if you've got something like that, then you've pretty much covered his knee bend anyway. So it's not too bad. It does remind me a lot of the old classic Power Rangers figures when they had the fat joints though, from my childhood. And then moving further down. Okay, so this one, again, like the Cammy one, if you haven't seen my Cammy video, I mentioned she doesn't have calf swivel. This guy doesn't either, which is a bit disappointing. The only swivel he has around is just the ankle. He doesn't have the stupid heel thing that Cammy has, but he still lacks the calf swivel, which I think is just really important to have. Even Ryu had that because it joined up into his the pants on his gi. So I'm really a bit disappointed that they've not done that for Rashid again. But in any case, his ankle does move like so, and then he has the toe curl as well. I think that pretty much covers his articulation. There's not a lot more to talk about for Rashid in the articulation point of view, or any new things that's going on with him. But you can get him into some really cool creative poses. Like I said, he can stand on one leg if you're patient and work with it. He can do his flying kicks, you know, what you'd expect. He can bring his arms round, and then, like, you know, the eagle strike move, I think that's what the name was. I forgot. I haven't used him for a long time. He can do all of those, and then couple it with the effect piece as well. It's pretty cool. He is a bit heavy, so get a decent stand if you can, and then it should be okay. But in the meantime, let me actually, before I show you how to change his head, I want to quickly comment on the shading on this guy. So if you look closely at his arms, I think in person it's a bit more pronounced. So his shading starts to turn a bit reddish in certain areas. It's okay here because it does look like he's, you know, got the bandages or whatever it is. They're wrapped a bit too tight, so the red makes sense. But sometimes the feet especially, they look a bit too red and too pronounced in person. They might not come out so much in photos or whatever, but that's just my personal opinion. Generally though, I do like the design of him. I like the balance of this figurine. It's a fun one to pose. It's not as fun as Ryu, but it's still fun. Anyway, so let's just try and change his head. Like I said, this is one piece that just comes off, the head piece. Like I said, the visor is attached to it, and it's separate like that. So that's cool. And then you just simply take his head. Where is it? You have to take off his entire head, actually. Let me give you a closer look at this one. Again, just to kind of show you that his eyes, like the way they're shaped, I think was quite good, and the eyelashes are really nice. So that's, you know, a good job to those guys. I'm going to put on his normal stoic face. You just plug it in. That's relatively easy. I thought it'd be a bit harder. And then you just put the headgear back on. Once you take the headgear back off each time, just a small piece of advice, just be careful with the visor, because like I said, you saw it is sculpted on, but you don't, you know, accidentally want to, you know, put it on like this where your thumb cover is touching the visor and then you bend it and, you know, it scratches his face and all sorts. You'd be upset because you don't exactly get a second piece for that. In terms of hand changing, just like every other figurine, you just pull the hand off. Oh, it was a bit tight, and this time I'll attach this hand, and just, oops. You know, like I said, if you struggle with changing, like I am, you can sometimes just heat up the joint a little bit, you know, just rub it in your hands or something, and then it'll be easier to put the joint back on. So that's his hand swapped. Now he's got both the waving hands, if you like. He can't change anything on the bottom, but the effect piece can go on both legs. So I'm going to try the right leg. So like Cammy and Chun-Li before, this is a sandwiched piece. Comes off in two parts like so, and then you have to put it around his leg. It's a bit of a finicky one. I'll actually do the left leg. It is a bit of a finicky one, which I hope I can show you. I believe I put on this one first. Oh, actually, you can see that sometimes this happens, where the joint completely comes off. The connector even on one side. So this one is the one I'm going to use first, which should go this way around, I believe. No, this way around. There we go. So it goes around his ankle. Sorry if I can't show you properly. It's always a weird one. And then this one you kind of have to just pray for the best. Actually, it comes up a bit more. So bring it up to about here, let's say. I'm just going to show it upside down. And then sort of just get lucky with the position. You know, you just have to play around with it. There we go. So hopefully it can go in. And now it's my time to shine. Please let it go in, please. And I think I might have it. No, I don't have it. I don't have it. Not at all. Not one bit. But we will get there eventually. Once you keep trying, you just kind of have to feel it out, or kind of see within the gap here. As you can, like, I can try and show you here. There we go. Have we done it? Have we done it? I don't think we have. Oh, I think we have. Okay, so there we go. I think it actually wasn't on properly anyway. But that's what it kind of will look like once you've got the effect piece attached to his leg. It does go in the other leg as well. And then once it's on firmly, you should be okay. And then once you've got a stand, it's going to be a cool looking figurine. I have a feeling this is going to come off any moment now. And if it does, well, that's my bad luck. But I think it looks nice. The effect piece does look cool, and this is a nice extra to have in the figure. I do still hope that they would add stands at, at some point in the future as well. So this pretty much covers Rashid. He's a nice figure. If you're a big fan of the character, you don't have much option in terms of merchandise and toys related to Rashid. I think this is about the only thing that you can get at a good quality. So try and get it. It should be on sale on CD Japan and other places, because I don't think it was like a highly desirable figure. Not right now anyway, but definitely I think support the characters that you like. It's nice that a different licensee has experimented a bit more. We usually get Ryu, Ken, Chun-Li, and then after a couple more figures the license dies. I think at this point in this license, we're at the point where the license could just die. But it's good that we've got Rashid. We haven't even got Ken yet, and I'm happy about that, because Rashid is a nice new original and fun character, and it was nice to just get someone new instead of the same old figures all the time. The next figure for the Street Fighter lineup is going to be Akuma, which comes out in January or December, I believe. I can't remember. But he'll be the next one, followed by Armika, which is a limited edition one from the Bandai Premium Store. So keep an eye on my channel if you want to see the videos for the other Street Fighter figures which I've already got up, and then the ones coming out soon. And also any other game-related ones, such as Kingdom Hearts, which I've just gone through as well, or I'm about to put up. One of those things, either or. With that said, thank you again for watching. I hope you're now well informed on the Rashid figure. Have a good one.